Greetings, brethren. I was wondering today if you know the difference between love and mercy. There's a great difference, actually, although many times these things get confused by those, let's say, retranslating the Bible. Did you know, for example, that in the King James Bible, you will never find the phrase that God's love endures forever. You will only find that his mercy endureth forever. Even in Psalm 136, which is like paramount, the epitome of this. It has 26 verses, and in every verse it tells us that God's mercy endureth forever. But in things like the NIV, it changes that to his love endures forever. And so that is not true. And more than 46 great linguistic scholars, in agreement at least 14 times on every word, did not miss it in the King James Bible. But the thing is, mercy is something that you give to someone who is guilty, someone who deserves punishment. And so God has given us mercy rather than requiring us to bear his wrath. He put Jesus in our place. That is a God of mercy. Now, you might say this comes from a heart of love, and I don't have much argument with that. But the Bible tells us that God's mercy endures forever toward those that fear him, toward those that are set on keeping his commandments. We should remember that God owes us nothing. So many times we hear about like earning God's favor or doing this and that, and then he'll give to us back. But he gave us Jesus while we were yet sinners, while we were separated from him. Remember that it was not that we loved God, but that he loved us first. And this is so it is from him, rather, that everything comes. And so what would we give to him except what he has already given to us? And so what I'm challenging you with now is just that we should learn to seek God and ask him for his mercy, and with true gratitude, giving thanks for all that he has provided for us, especially, but in particular, Jesus Christ, his son. We should come to him seeking him for additional mercy and with a heart of gratitude rather than as spoiled children. I just wanted to quickly give you an example of this and how God kind of, let's say, turned me on to this many years ago. And I can't say that I've embraced it in any way as I should have. But years ago, we were facing a drought here in our county. Of course, summers are typically dry in the area. We get water from maybe storms that pop up because of the heat, or sometimes from tropical storms that make their way up from the Gulf of Mexico eventually. Usually they give us beneficial rain. But we were really having a drought, and the God had been good to us as far as weather-related prayers, and we were seeking him, asking him to bring rain. Oh, Lord, won't you please bring rain? You know, we've been so dry. And we would see evidence of this, that he heard us. We'd see clouds coming in. Sometimes we'd feel a few drops here and there. It's like God saying, I hear you, but there's something else. There's something missing, something that isn't there. And so I got to seek him more deeply on this. We were in a drought, and we were headed toward a drought emergency by the end of the year. It was starting to turn toward fall. And he really just showed me that I needed to seek him more deeply. I needed to seek him for his mercy. And he provided here from the book of Daniel, chapter 9, especially verses 3 through 19, Daniel's prayer for mercy, confessing his own sins and the sins of his fathers, just confessing that he was a sinner and he was separated from God, like we all are at base, apart from his mercy. And so I began using this as kind of a template, just as an example, not a word-for-word thing. And as we did this, the rain started to fall. I mean, not specifically like the first day, but we saw this. We started getting rain. And I asked the Lord that he would move us into a rainy weather pattern to restore our ground rather than, just deluging us with 2 feet of water or whatever we needed. And it was quite a blessing because we started getting this rain. And then as we were heading into this weekend, my wife and I heard the weatherman saying, that he was predicting rain for like Friday, Saturday, and whatnot. And he said, we're in kind of a rainy weather pattern in which we're getting rain every weekend. I suppose that was kind of God's trade-off with us, that we were sacrificing some what would normally be like good downtime from work to have rain that we needed so much. So God was very merciful in that, and he has helped us to grow from this. And so I just want you to be assured that God does hear us, and he wants to answer us, but he wants us to come with thanksgiving and not as spoiled children. We're not entitled. Everything that we have was given of his grace and his mercy. And just remember Matthew 6:33, when God is telling us that if we seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, that he will provide all that we need for us. So I beseech you, brethren, to seek him a little bit more deeply. Remember that God is not a genie. Just ask him for his mercy. And he who gave us his own son will not hesitate to give us all that we truly need. May God bless this message to your edification today. Take care.